Right now at 6, authorities in one Missouri town respond to a crash into a restaurant.
And we've got a bit of a cold start to the day out there, but believe it or not, we're going to be a little warmer this afternoon. We've got to look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a Commerce Elementary School honors a 10-year-old student with a special memorial bench.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Porter. No, it's not. It's Wednesday,
Yes.
October the 22nd. It's no longer Tuesday. We're now halfway through this work weekend. Boy, did fall arrive or what?
I walked out this morning and
man.
I was like, it is chilly. I should have gotten like a coat or something.
I almost grabbed one this morning, but then I said I spend 90% of my day indoors. And it doesn't take long for my car to warm up in the morning usually. So I said, forget it. But for those of you, maybe you're going to be outdoors this morning for more time than I was, or kids waiting in the line at the bus stop, they might want that jacket because it is
at least a sweater.
The cold side. Something warm, but it also needs to be something you can put away easily too, because later today we're actually going to be warmer than where we were yesterday, even though many of us are colder this morning. We're going to start, though, with our live look downtown Pittsburgh. And there it is. Skies are clear, winds are calm this morning, and we'll get wind later today, but nothing like what we've seen the last couple of days. Our camera 7th and Range Line in Joplin, looking fantastic. We'll head south to the MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line. Excuse me, these temperature changes, man, they hit. And I know there are folks, some of you are at home. You may have even called in to work for today because you're like, I can't do this. This is crazy. And it is. But, we wanted fall and we got it, all right? And it came in with a vengeance. Over the weekend with that cold front that came through Saturday did bring us some severe weather. And then we had that dry cold front just the other day that also came through and just continued to keep these temperatures below normal. Now, as we head into the afternoon, skies are clear. We'll have a west wind at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Nothing too crazy there. And again, late this evening, overnight, it'll go calm again. This is what's really hitting this morning, are these temperatures. Now, yesterday, I figured we'd have a number of low 40s, similar to what we saw yesterday. Not nearly as many upper 30s, but we look at all of these upper 30s out there this morning. That's a lot more than what I honestly thought we were going to get. We got a little colder, not by a lot, but still, it's a little colder than what I thought we'd be. Now, Cassville's the warm spot at 45 right now. We've got, it looks like, I'm taking a quick scan here, Fort Scott is the cool spot at 36, but there's plenty of other, Iola and the Neodesha, both at 37, so a bit of a cold start to the day. So kids, again, heading out the door, we're looking at about 42, but some upper 30s are still possible as they head out the door to the bus or to school, so make sure they have something warm. 67 by lunch and recess, 73 as they head home. So that's the other side of this, is we do warm up a bit. We'll go upper 40s by 9, upper 60s by noon. Our highs today low to mid 70s, so a little above normal, not well above normal, but a little. And at west wind again at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're still warm tomorrow, and then rain chances begin to build in across the area heading into, unfortunately, the upcoming weekend. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Free home improvements help Missouri families save on heating bills. As temperatures begin to drop, the Joplin-based Economic Security Corporation Weatherization Department continues to assist low-income families in reducing their energy costs. Eligible households throughout Southwest Missouri can request work to be done on their homes, which can include door and window replacement as well as insulation installation.
We try to make people more comfortable in their homes. We try to seal up their homes to save them money so they're able to afford more food or medication rather than having to spend it on utility bills.
The services are currently in high demand, with about 200 on the waiting list, but the organization still encourages those interested to submit an application on their website. A Commerce Elementary School honors a 10-year-old student who died in an ATV accident in April. The family dedicated a memorial bench outside the school in honor of Easton Freeman. The bench showcases some of Easton's favorite things, including fishing and also his love of Thomas the Tank Engine. It may sound like Halloween fun, but unfortunately, it's the name of a new scam. Previously, debit and credit card scams required physical contact, But ghost tapping gets rid of that. This new scam takes advantage of tap-to-pay credit cards and mobile wallets, according to the Better Business Bureau. While the payment methods for tap-to-pay are generally safe, scammers can exploit it in crowded spaces or distracting situations. Once a scammer has your information, they may only make small transactions to avoid you noticing right away.
For example, some scammers that are utilizing this tapping scam will set up as a fake vendor and then try to talk you into a small purchase. You may think you spent $10 and then find out on the back end they charged not only the $10 but additional amounts of money or even larger than the $10 amount.
Here's how to protect yourself from ghost tapping. When at any event like flea markets or festivals, make sure you always see the business name and transaction amount before tapping your card. Then after any big gathering, keep an eye on your bank account for suspicious charges. Also, consider using wallets or sleeves for your credit cards with radio frequency identification or RFID protection. It can help stop wireless skimming. A major security scare at the world's busiest airport in Atlanta, where police say they stopped a likely attacker. Authorities say the suspect, Billy Cagle, was checking out TSA security when he was stopped and arrested. Police found a semi-automatic rifle with dozens of rounds in his truck. Police were canvassing for Cagle after his family called 911 less than 30 minutes earlier. Authorities respond to a fatal crash in Carthage yesterday afternoon. The crash happened just before 3 on Oak and McGregor Streets. Authorities say 3 vehicles were involved. One passenger was airlifted from the parking lot of Memorial Hall. Last night, police confirmed the crash was fatal. One driver has been detained on suspicion of DWI. This is a developing story. You can find more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, as it becomes available. Authorities released information regarding an early Monday morning crash into a restaurant. Reports say a semi-truck slammed into a Burger King in St. Robert, Missouri. Authorities report no injuries to staff or the semi-driver, but caution the public to stay away from the area for safety's sake. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Vice President Vance says Gaza ceasefire is going better than expected, but can't guarantee it'll last. Plus, breakthrough research reveals a major decline in childhood peanut allergies. And cooler temperatures across the 4 states with this weekend tracking storms. Chris has a look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, Hamas says it's recovering remains of 2 more hostages and is turning them over to Israel. If confirmed, that would bring the number returned so far to 15. Hamas has pledged to send the bodies of all 28 deceased hostages back to Israel as part of the peace deal. Vice President J.D. Vance in Israel yesterday urged patience as the ceasefire, which began 11 days ago, continues to hold. Holly Williams reports from Tel Aviv.
Things are going, frankly, better than I expected that they were.
Tonight in Israel, the vice president said he was optimistic the fragile ceasefire will not collapse.
What do you think the likelihood is that it will last long term? If you had to put a number on it, a percentage.
Can I say with 100% certainty that it's going to work? No. But you don't do difficult things by only doing what's 100% certain.
Yet just 2 days ago, Israel briefly resumed its lethal strikes on Gaza. Israel said it was responding after Hamas militants killed 2 of its soldiers. President Trump warned on social media today that if Hamas violates the ceasefire deal, the reaction will be fast, furious and brutal. Hamas says it's still committed to the truce, and tonight it returned the bodies of 2 more hostages. But many are not convinced that the group, which is designated a terrorist organization by the US, will hand over its weapons. And some Israelis are skeptical that their own leader, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, really wants peace.
This is an agreement that he signed under duress.
Alon Pincus was an advisor to 4 Israeli foreign ministers. He's also a fierce critic of Netanyahu.
He knows that if everything stops now and there is progress into the next phases, that almost inevitably means that he will be deemed as the guy who failed to defeat Hamas.
Vice President Vance's press conference was held in the newly opened Civilian Military Cooperation Center in southern Israel, which will monitor the progress of those next phases of the peace plan. It's staffed by around 200 American troops. Holly Williams, CBS News, Tel Aviv, Israel.
That's our top story in today's World Watch. Still to come, Jamie Lee Curtis stars as a governor juggling politics and family in the new comedy Ella McKay. Plus, cooler temperatures with rain chances heading into the weekend. Chris has a look at the forecast. From stage to auction block, iconic pieces of music history are up for grabs. And Ethan Hawke is back on the big screen. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
Comedy, politics, and family collide in the new movie Ella McKay.
I'd like to acknowledge past actions for which I am ashamed. This is great we're doing this.
The film about an idealistic woman who becomes governor, juggling family and work life. It stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Emma Mackey, and Woody Harrelson.
Any last minute advice?
Ella McKay heads to theaters December 12th. Music fans are ready to spend big ahead of a massive two-day auction in London. Just some of the iconic items up for sale: a pair of John Lennon's tinted glasses, handwritten lyrics by Jimi Hendrix, and Michael Jackson's famed white fedora from his Smooth Criminal music video.
There were 3 commissioned. Kim Kardashian currently owns one, the Michael Jackson Foundation own one, and the third one we are offering in auction.
More than 500 items will go under the hammer beginning tomorrow.
They should put my picture on that bottle. The whiskey that made Loren's heart unemployable.
Ethan Hawke returns to screens in the movie Blue Moon as Broadway lyricist Loren's Hart, facing addiction and inner demons. Looking on as his writing partner, Richard Rodgers, becomes part of the legendary Broadway duo Rodgers and Hammerstein.
You really don't need to know anything about Rodgers and Hart or Rodgers and Hammerstein. You don't need to know any of that, because the story is told that you understand what their dynamics are between each other. That's all that matters.
The biographical dramedy heads to theaters nationwide this Friday. That's our Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Stories like this always make me think about what piece of pop culture iconic I would love to have. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a pretty cold start out there this morning, but it will eventually warm up. In fact, going a little above average by this afternoon. We're going to break down the details and talk about some rain chances on the way with your full forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 6:18. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:20 now on this Wednesday morning. We're going to start with the future track for today. And even though we've got a pretty cold start for this morning, we will start to warm up. And thankfully, it won't be as breezy, but plentiful sunshine out there. We'll have west winds at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, and temperatures again climbing just a bit above average. Winds become calm overnight tonight into Thursday morning. Will remain clear. In fact, we're clear for a good portion of our Thursday. Winds, though, will shift out of the east at 5 to 10 on our Thursday. As we get a little closer to the evening hours, clouds will begin to increase around, say, 4 or 5 o'clock. And then eventually, after about 10 or so, we'll start to see isolated to widely scattered shower and thunderstorm chances build in. Now, yesterday, we did have that level 1 out of 5 risk that was roughly, I'm doing this very poorly, but it was roughly this zone right here. It has been removed. In fact, I told you it stretched back to the west. It's been completely removed and pushed much further south. So all we have now is that light green color for our area from Thursday into Friday, and that's just for general thunderstorms. So we're not looking at anything strong or severe. And as I mentioned yesterday, it just wasn't looking like the right kind of setup. But as we go overnight, these shower and thunderstorm chances will continue to increase, and we'll start our Friday pretty soggy out there, and some of these storms could produce some heavy rain. So we do want to keep an eye on that. And of course, with thunderstorms, with the lightning, I know usually we tell you when thunder roars, head indoors, but in the morning hours, you're probably heading outdoors. So just make sure you're taking precautions, being prepared for some shower storms. These will continue through the first half of our Friday rather, and they'll continue into the early afternoon and evening. We'll get a brief pause where it becomes a little more isolated, the widely scattered shower and thunderstorm activity. And then as we go overnight Friday into Saturday, shower and storm chances will pick right back up again. So I know, again, there's the Missouri Southern Homecoming Parade this Saturday. We have the Heart Walk this Saturday. So again, while we're not expecting anything strong or severe by any means, not like last Saturday, it's going to be another soggy one. So if you're doing any of these things outdoors, just make sure you are prepared for that. But this morning, looking good. Just again, a bit chilly. Low 40s to start. We'll go low 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. And even though, again, many of us are colder this morning than where we were yesterday morning, we will eventually warm above average, not by a lot, but still above normal, low to mid 70s. We should be in the upper 60s with that west breeze at 5 to 10. Clear skies through the evening hours as well. And of course, overnight means we'll be cool again, but this time a little more closer to normal. We should be right around the low mid 40s and some upper 40s, depending on where you are for the seasonable temperatures. And we'll go mid 40s tonight. Now, with the rain and the cloud cover, that will actually keep us mild for the next few nights. But you can also see that we're back in low 70s tomorrow. But then take a look. We go from 53 to 59 to 52 from Thursday night to Friday afternoon to Friday night. So not a lot of movement in those temperatures. Upper 50s, low 60s, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, cloudy skies, showers, a few rumbles of thunder in there as well. Monday looks pretty good so far. Upper 60s, a few more shower storm chances by Tuesday. And as we head into Halloween, not cold, but seasonably cold. So make sure you're ready to bundle up if you're doing trick-or-treating, as we'll be into the upper 50s and low 60s with the overnight lows into the 40s. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to toss it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. How antidepressants affect the body can vary widely based on which one you take. A study in The Lancet found different drugs impact a patient's heart rate, blood pressure, and weight in different ways. For example, some common antidepressants are linked to weight gain, while others are linked to weight loss. But researchers stress these findings shouldn't deter people from taking antidepressants. Important information for people who track their daily steps. A Mass General Brigham study found older women who took 4,000 steps just once or twice a week had a 27% lower risk for cardiovascular disease and a 26% lower risk of death. Notably, the health benefits were linked to how many steps were taken rather than how many days a person was active. New evidence about the health benefits of a mother's touch. A Cochrane review of previous studies found newborns who have skin-to-skin contact with their mothers in the first hour after birth have more successful breastfeeding and optimal body temperatures and blood sugar levels. Skin-to-skin contact keeps infants warm and reduces stress, helping them adapt to life outside the womb. Food allergies continue to increase overall, but peanut allergies have plummeted in children. According to a new study, researchers say that's because recommendations have been revised. Parents are no longer being told to avoid giving babies foods that can potentially cause allergic reactions. Stephanie Stahl has more on the new study.
You could do like peanut butter with apple.
8-year-old Jack Ravner used to be allergic to peanuts.
It's a little stressful.
Mom says his allergy is gone now after being slowly exposed. New research says there are fewer children like Jake. Since 2017, peanut allergies in young children have dropped 43%.
We looked at medical records from 50 different pediatric practices in multiple states.
Dr. David Hill led the study at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia that looked at allergies to things like milk, eggs, and nuts. For decades, those were the foods parents were told to avoid giving babies. But that changed in 2015. The updated recommendation said the opposite. Babies should be exposed to tiny amounts.
What our research showed is that, in fact, providing these foods earlier is a way to train the immune system that the foods themselves are safe.
A total game changer.
Jake's mom, Dr. Lisa Ravner, is a pediatrician who's seeing a decline in kids with peanut allergies because of the revised recommendation.
And as a pediatrician, your advice to parents has changed.
Oh yeah, completely. There's a lot of education that goes into it around that this is safe to do.
Since the updated recommendation, about 60,000 children have avoided developing peanut allergies, according to the new research.
We've been able to implement what I think is one of the most important public health interventions in allergy.
Now there are a growing number of children like Jake who can enjoy foods without the worry of allergic reactions. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Now, doctors don't completely understand what causes food allergies, but many believe that higher rates of C-section deliveries, early childhood exposure to antibiotics, and increasingly sanitized environments may play a role. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, the federal shutdown disrupts food assistance for 4 state families.
And we've got a pretty cold start to the day, but we are going to be a little warmer by this afternoon. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a new cell phone laws in Oklahoma start this year. We'll take a look at the areas likely impacted.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday, October the 22nd, halfway through the work week, and it's been a pretty decent work week, honestly. It's been much more fall-like, but on the breezy side, though, we've had to deal with.
A little bit, but I was able to break out the long sleeves finally and not feel like I'm suffocating in the heat.
Yeah, man, that's been the wild thing is, the most of this month has been well above average, and now we're dropping even, in some cases, a little below average, including this morning. And that's where, of course, Mother Nature likes to just mess with people because we are cold this morning. Many of us are below normal, but then by this afternoon, we're going to be above normal for our highs. How's that for a roller coaster ride for you today? And that's just in one day.
And that's why people, I feel like are feeling it, physically, those changes as well.
It's really messing with folks that, and I know it's messing with you folks at home. Some of you, it's a lot more sensitive to these changes. I'm getting in there too. I tell you right now, I could sleep for days at this point, but we can't because we got to tell you about what's going on in news and in weather. We're going to start with our live look outside downtown Pittsburgh, where skies are clear this morning. Although again, it is a bit on the cold side. Our camera 7th in Rangeline looking pretty good as well, and we'll head down to the MoDOT camera 20th in Rangeline as folks get their day underway, and I'd be willing to bet unless the cold weather is just truly your thing, most of these vehicles out here probably running the heat this morning because again, it is chilly. We're going to show you those temperatures in just a moment. Now for today, again, we'll eventually warm up. We're going to go above average, clear skies, and thankfully not nearly as breezy. I'll have a west wind out there about 5 to 10, and that's really about it. The future track, though, does get a little bit busier as we head into late tomorrow into the upcoming weekend, which will show you that as well a little later. Here's those temperatures. I do like the color blue, but when we get into cold seasons, that blue is indicative of very cold temperatures in some cases. Now, it's not very cold out there, but we're below normal, and there's a lot more upper 30s. We talked yesterday, we had Neodesha and Parsons both into the 30s. They were the only ones. Now, almost everybody, what is this? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 communities in the 40s, 8 maybe, out of all of this. And so there's a lot more upper 30s than what I thought there was going to be this morning. But it is a bit of a chilly start. In fact, it's kind of crazy. Bentonville and Cassville are the warm spots at 42 degrees right now. So again, a bit of a chilly start for sure. So kids want a light jacket, or as Samantha mentioned, maybe a sweater, just because it's easy to put away because it will warm up later. 42 as they head out the door, 67 lunch and recess, 73 when they head home. We're going to go near 50 by 9, near 70 by noon, low to mid 70s for our highs. Again, clear skies, west breeze 5 to 10. We're going to talk about those rain chances, though, that are going to start moving in late tomorrow night and how they could impact the upcoming weekend here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Millions of families across the country depend on SNAP benefits to put food on the table. But with the federal government shutdown still in effect, officials say those benefits may not arrive next month. KOAM's Blake Gulley explains how the change could affect families across the 4 states.
I do receive food stamps, but I do work.
As a single mom, Desiree Huber depends on federally funded programs like SNAP to help feed her growing family. She understands some people may abuse the system, but says for many the support is essential.
There's also people who genuinely need it, who actually need it to provide for their families, because those who are on Social Security, disability, and who are disabled can go out and get jobs to be able to provide for their families. And you know, I grew up on SNAP, and I use SNAP to benefit towards my family as well, because like I said, sometimes, you know, the cost of living has went up.
In a statement to KOAM, Bailey Watts, media director for the Missouri Department of Social Services, says, "We understand how difficult the situation is for Missouri families who rely on SNAP benefits to meet their food needs. DSS encourages SNAP participants to look at the potential of stretching their October balance into November if possible." Here at Cross Lines Ministries in Joplin, families turn for help when they're in need. And with the government shutdown and SNAP benefits being paused for November, the line will likely get longer. Ozark Food Harvest is preparing for that increase.
So suddenly not having access to those benefits is going to leave a gigantic shortfall in their grocery budget. So it's incredibly important to support food banks like Ozark's Food Harvest, as well as local pantries like Crosslines Joplin right now, because they're going to see that influx of need.
State officials say they'll resume issuing SNAP benefits as soon as federal funding is restored. Reporting in Joplin, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
In Jasper County, more than 18,000 individuals use SNAP benefits. Those families are each receiving around $200 a month from the program. Starting November 1st, there will be a new law in effect in Oklahoma. The new law will have enhanced punishments for anyone seen using their cell phones in a school zone or construction zone. This law is designed to help drivers pay attention while they're in those areas. Miami Police Chief says this is a primary offense and officers will be on the lookout for phones.
Unfortunately, we see it all the time. People just aren't paying attention. They're distracted by everything that's going on in life, just like the rest of us are. They don't see the lights flashing. They don't realize it's an imposed school zone during certain times. So we work with the school resource officers here within Miami to make sure that we're doing enforcement.
Miami police say they will focus on education the first few weeks as the law takes effect. President Trump said on day 21 of the government shutdown that Republicans, quote, will not be extorted into giving in to Democrat demands. He made the comments during a White House lunch with Senate Republicans. Erica Brown is at the White House with the latest.
At a Rose Garden lunch with Senate Republicans Tuesday, President Trump blamed Democrats for the ongoing government shutdown and made it clear his party will not budge.
From the beginning, our message has been very simple. We will not be extorted on this crazy plot of theirs.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune said Republicans were united in their refusal to negotiate with Democrats until after a funding bill is passed to reopen the government.
Everybody here has voted now 11 different times to open up the government, and we are going to keep voting to open up the government, and eventually the Democrats, hopefully sooner or later, are going to come around.
Democrats continue to hold out for extended Affordable Care Act subsidies and reversals to cuts to Medicaid.
Republicans may not have time to fix people's health care, but apparently they got plenty of time for a mini pep rally with Donald Trump.
As the stalemate drags on, some states are warning the food assistance program known as SNAP could run out of funding and recipients might not receive full benefits come November.
If SNAP is lost, it will devastate this community.
At the Capuchin Soup Kitchen in Detroit, one mother says making ends meet on federal assistance is already a challenge.
It shouldn't be that you got to go in your pocket later to get cash that's going to short your bill, and well, one bill won't get paid today, just to make sure your children and you have food.
With SNAP funding uncertain, food pantries across the country are preparing for the increased need and are urging people in a position to help to consider donating. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
House and Senate Republican leaders suggested that the current GOP measure, which would fund the government until November 21st, may need to be extended as the shutdown stretches on. Well, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, leaf peepers embrace slow travel as nature shapes the schedule instead of packed to-do lists. Plus, Netflix's most popular film ever gets the toy treatment as K-pop Demon Hunters racks up 325 million views. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, OpenAI has unveiled Atlas, its new web browser that's poised to take on Google Chrome. The company says the search engine is built with ChatGPT at its core, with settings that allow the browser to remember previous chats and searches. One key feature, Agent Mode, allows the system to click through the internet for users. Atlas already launched for Mac laptop users, with versions for Microsoft, Apple iPhone, and Google Android coming soon. 9 in 10 Americans say they don't plan on waiting until they turn 70 to collect Social Security, according to a new study by investment firm Schroders. Recipients that delay receiving benefits for 3 years past the full retirement age of 67 can get a 30% bump in monthly payments. Schroders says some people decide not to delay payments if their retirement accounts aren't enough to cover expenses, and also over concerns that Social Security funds may not be there if they wait. And Netflix is looking to capitalize on the success of its K-pop Demon Hunter film. The company says it has inked a licensing partnership with Mattel and Hasbro to develop toys, games, and other merchandise based on the breakout movie's characters. Netflix says K-pop Demon Hunters is its most popular film of all time, racking up 325 million views globally in just over 3 months. More travelers are taking the slow road these days. Slow travel has become a popular trend since the pandemic, as a greater number of Americans choose less busy and crowded itineraries, letting the destination shape their trip. Wendy Gillette explains in today's Travel Tuesday report.
Leaf peepers are popping up all over the Northeast this month, including at Scroon Lake in New York's Adirondack Mountains. It's one example of slow travel, when nature and an immersive experience shape the schedule, rather than packed to-do lists. The luxury travel network Virtuoso has seen the trend grow in popularity.
People are looking for that pause from their daily rush of life to absorb and soak in the beauty of the destination that they're in.
Rides on a pontoon boat, listening to live music around the fire pit, roasting marshmallows, hikes in the forest, and relaxing at the pool are some of the slow travel offerings from the lodge at Scroon Lake, where comfort food and drinks and 2-floor cabins with views calm the pace.
People are by the fire reading a book, their kids are running around and playing, and there's so much laughter and happiness.
On the West Coast, travelers can get very up close with nature at Carmel Valley Ranch's Bee Class in Monterey County, California.
There's probably about 500, 700 bees in this train.
The resort, one of those we stayed at for a special rate, offers scenic views, farm animals to observe, and a spa where products are made with lavender grown on site.
We give guests a number of options to really unwind, slow down their pace.
But nothing spells slow travel quite like the ocean. The Sanctuary Beach Resort here in nearby Marina has rooms overlooking the dunes and Pacific. There are steps from cauldrons lit up every night at sunset. Relaxed activities include beach walks and oyster shell decorating. Nearby, gourmet restaurants like Chez Noir and Carmel utilize local ingredients for leisurely meals.
They call it the salad bowl of America. So, most of the artichokes that are grown in America and the garlic are from 15 minutes up the road.
You can browse all that bounty at local farm markets or drop into some wineries for more contemplative time spent only as you wish. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Virtuoso says slow tourism can also mean avoiding overcrowded destinations and longer stays.
And we've got, take a look, got a nice sunrise out there. Skies are clear this morning, and we will be, even though we are colder this morning than where we have been the last several days, we are going to be warmer by this afternoon. We also still have our rain chances on the way. Details on all of that when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 6:45. Time now for some Wednesday birthdays and anniversaries, and we're going to start in Lawrence with Charlie Miller celebrating birthday number 6, a kindergartner at Deerfield Elementary, with love from Papa, Uma, Oren, and Ray Ray.
And another happy birthday to Crew Epler, who's turning 7 in Columbus. Happy birthday, Crew.
Hanging out in Columbus for Jamie Martinez, celebrating birthday number 9, says, want to wish you a happy 9th birthday with love from Mom and Dad.
And Cohen Dunn is celebrating birthday number 12 in Pittsburgh, who turned 12 on October 18th. and received his yellow belt. Happy birthday, Cohen. Love you bunches from your family.
And in Pittsburgh, Brandon Harper celebrating birthday number 17 today. Happy birthday, Brandon.
And Jake Eddington in Columbus is turning 21. Happy birthday, Jake. Happy birthday from your family and your Center Christian Church family, too.
And Michael Fritz celebrating birthday number 31 says, love always, your mom. Happy birthday.
And Tiffany Yarnell and Yeri is celebrating birthday number 48. Happy birthday, Tiffany.
We've got Leroy Downs in Columbus celebrating birthday number 63. Happy birthday, Leroy.
And Mary Woodhouse in Jasper is celebrating birthday number 68. Happy birthday, Mary.
And over in Cherokee, Bobby Westervelt celebrating birthday number 78. Says happy birthday from the CCRH class of 65.
And John Lankford in Seneca is celebrating birthday number 85. Says happy birthday from all your family. We love you.
And Charles Timmy P.A. II celebrating another year wiser. A very happy birthday to you.
And Cindy Logston in Joplin is celebrating today. Happy birthday, Cindy.
And in Baxter Springs, Laura Atkinson celebrating a birthday. Says happy birthday from your family and your church family.
And Missy Prophet in Columbus is celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Missy.
And in Chanute, celebrating a 52nd anniversary, Charlie and Cindy Stoll. A very happy anniversary to you.
And some more birthdays. Melissa True celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Melissa.
Callie Evans in Columbus celebrating birthday number 15 today.
And another anniversary, Kent and Glenda are celebrating their 37th anniversary out of Columbus. Happy anniversary to them.
And then Jerry and Dorothy Van Leeuwen celebrating their 70th anniversary in St. Paul. Talk about an incredible milestone, incredible anniversary. Happy anniversary to you.
And Brady Lanston in Carthage is celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Brady, as well.
All right, and a very happy birthday and anniversary to everybody on our list. And if you would like to celebrate with us, there's simple information you must take down that Samantha has for you.
Yes, you want to look at that email that you can see on your screen right now. It's birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Make sure you send any of your birthdays and anniversaries to that email so we can celebrate with you. But also make sure you're paying attention to that deadline that you can see on the bottom of your screen to make sure that we get them in time so we can celebrate with you on your special day.
Very important information there. And believe it or not, again, we are pretty cold this morning, which is a little wild. Like I said, I knew we were going back into the low 40s for the lows last night into this morning. Didn't think we'd have as many folks in the upper 30s as we do, but we've only got, I think, 8 communities, I think is what I counted, that were in the low 40s. Everybody else out there starting in the upper 30s. So a pretty cold start, but believe it or not, we will be warmer later today. In fact, we're going to be a little above average later today, even though this is one of our coldest starts so far for the month of October. In fact, it's the coolest weather we've had all month long because summer just did not want to let go. But now it has, and we're going to have a pretty decent day. Now, we're, like I said, above normal today, but not like we were in the first half of this month where we were in the 80s, all right, where we were 10, 15 degrees above normal. We're only looking at being let's see, 3 to 8, 3 to 7 degrees above normal, so that's a little better out there. Clear skies, not nearly as breezy either. We'll have calm winds and clear skies overnight tonight into our Thursday. Winds will shift out of the east on Thursday, and as we head into the evening hours, clouds will begin to increase across the area, and then that brings isolated to widely scattered initially shower and thunderstorm chances after 10. We did have that level 1 out of 5 severe risk that was roughly in this zone here in our area. It's gone. In fact, like I said yesterday, it stretched pretty far west. It's been completely removed and pushed much further south. Like I said too, the reason that is we just don't have the setup for severe weather, which is good. We don't need any severe weather, but we do need some rain. And as we get our Friday started, showers, thunderstorms across the region as you head out for your Friday morning commute. So just be aware of that. Again, nothing severe expected, but some of these storms through the morning could produce heavy rain. So do be aware of that. We'll be watching that for any potential flash flooding. As we go into Friday afternoon and evening, we get to slightly more isolated to widely scattered showers out there, maybe a rumble of thunder too, so shouldn't have a big impact on Friday night football. But then as we head overnight and into Saturday, shower and storm chances become more widespread and will resume across the region as well. So Heart Walk's coming up this Saturday, Missouri Southern's homecoming parade, just a couple of things going on this weekend that you want to make sure you are prepared for, with the potential for some rain and even some rumbles of thunder across the area. As for our morning, though, again, great view out there of that sunrise, clear skies, low 40s to start, low 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Got another look at your forecast and the wake up recap in just a moment, and we transition to Fox 14. The government shutdown stalemate continues, with both parties digging in as federal workers and travelers feel the impact. That story and more at 7.
This is your wake up recap for Wednesday, October 22nd, your top stories to start your day. Authorities release information regarding an early Monday morning crash into a restaurant. Reports say a semi-truck slammed into a Burger King in St. Robert, Missouri. Authorities report no injuries to staff or the semi-driver, but caution the public to stay away from the area for safety's sake. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And for today, we have a cold start, but take a look at these numbers. We're going to be a little warmer, in fact, a little above average today. Low mid-70s, west winds 5 to 10, so not nearly as breezy either. Clear skies continue through the evening and overnight back into the mid-40s with calm winds. Another warm day tomorrow, low mid-70s, and clouds begin increasing. And after 10, shower and thunderstorm chances begin increasing. Those will continue through Friday into Saturday and Sunday. So I know we got some weekend events. Just make sure you are prepared with an umbrella, and remember, when thunder roars, head indoors. No severe weather expected, which is good, but it does keep us a little cooler. Upper 50s, low 60s through the weekend, but the clouds trap in that warm air, so a little milder overnight into the 50s.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying the fall feel. It finally feels like fall.
I know, it took long enough, but it has finally arrived.
Well, thanks so much, Chris. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making apple bacon coleslaw in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Kelly O'Grady shares the best ways to save so this year's Thanksgiving meal doesn't cost you an arm and a turkey leg.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll have Will Morris in the studio for Wildcat Wednesday.
Plus, Coleman Domingo heads to Oz. Paris Hilton launches an inclusive design series, and Christina Aguilera taking over Paris for a festive holiday concert film. That's right, Christina Aguilera, not Mariah Carey, but she is defrosting right now as we get closer to Christmas. That's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.